Look, you are right that I think both the major parties are pretty solidly split about Brexit, and actually so is the whole country. I mean, we do actually.
Only one of them's in government at the moment.
Absolutely right. So what, no matter who wins later on this morning, whether or not everyone's assuming it's Boris, but even if it's Jeremy, who I've been supporting, they're going to be faced with the same task, which is they're going to have to help the party heal and then lead the country to heal as well, because those wounds from 3 years ago, those are still there, and that we can't carry on like this. It's been 3 years. We've actually got to get through it.
Philip Hammond's gone. Alan Duncan's gone. I suppose I should ask you: are you going to resign if Mr. Johnson is Prime Minister?
No, I'm not going to resign.
But you were a Remainer, or you are a Remainer. You were in 2016 anyway.
I voted Remain, but I was also one of the first to come out and say we have to honour the result of the referendum. If you're a Democrat, I believe you've got to make sure you deliver it somehow. The question is how. And that's not simple. And the simple answer to your first question is, Jeremy Hunt, who I've been, as I said, supporting, said early on, look, he would support Boris if Boris wins. He hopes Boris will do the same if Jeremy himself wins. I think that's the right approach, because we can't hope to heal if we aren't willing to work across the divide after that.
Thanks.
John, the markets, you've seen it with Sterling, they're really worried about no deal. Do you think one of the things we might get a bit of clarity on is a bit more detail about no deal? Do you think there was before talk of managed no deal and so on, that all rather dropped away, but could that come back into the spectrum? Shades of no deal perhaps, which might reassure the market a bit?
Well, I think that's inevitable regardless of who wins, because both of them are going to have to, either of them is going to have to firstly have a new push on a different kind of deal, if such a thing can be done. That's what everybody will unite around. But you've got to have a plan B, you've got to have a contingency. And one of the ways of dispelling some of the fear, some of the myths on all sides about no deal is to say, look, here's a plan about how we do it. Here's what we do on day 2 after no deal, if we had to, because you'll need then to strike some side deals if they can be done. Might not be possible. And a bit more detail will, I think, I'm not sure if it'll reassure, but it will provide clarity and allow people to plan. And quite a lot of the fear at the moment is because people don't know how to plan, because they don't know what the scenarios are and they're having to make it up rather than getting a lead about what the likelihood is from government.
John, one of the suggestions is that Boris Johnson very quickly, if he secures the position, will announce some form of fiscal stimulus, whether that's significant tax cuts in income taxes or corporation tax or elsewhere. But the message has largely been we can take our foot off the accelerator when it comes to just trying to get the country's accounts in order. We can actually afford to spend more at this point. And yet the most recent set of numbers we've seen suggest that actually there's a bit of backsliding going on national budgeting. Do you think it would be a shame for Boris Johnson at this point to start to spend money as a way of trying to solve the pain around Brexit? Do you think actually he should stick with the fiscal plan that Mr. Hammond has stuck by?
I think it depends on what kind of Brexit we get. So if we get a Brexit with a deal, then that's more likely to be closer to the status quo, to what we know already, and therefore something which is closer to Philip Hammond's stable plans would be a sort of natural fit. If we end up with no deal, that's going to be a shock, that's going to be a much bigger change, and at that stage the arguments for some kind of stimulus, perhaps something which is hitting, trying to deal with some of the structural issues, become quite a lot stronger. One of the things though that I think any Prime Minister will have to guard against is there will be an awful lot of people with vested interest in the status quo who will be arguing to say what we actually want is to replace EU subsidies with UK subsidies. I think that would be a mistake, because we can't just carry on and try and sort of expensively pay people to pretend that nothing's changed. Things will have changed, so it'll have to be a way of helping people get through the transition and into the new world, rather than an open-ended sort of maintaining the status quo.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.